can or whatever. It's lots of fun for everybody.
All right, Cynthia, thank you so much. Well, it is every kid's favorite holiday, but it can be a lot of nightmares for parents because the topic of Halloween candy can be so sticky for parents who wonder what the best strategy is to managing the sack full of treats and sweets. And I think it's so funny that registered dietitian Andrea Holwegner is here because you're addicted to chocolate. I bet you've had a kid just so they could go and trick or treat so you could get all their candy at the end of the night. That's what I'm in it for too. I promise you this.
Chocoholic dietitian.
I love that. I love that. So you have a 3-year-old boy.
I do.
So you know exactly what every parent is talking about. He's going to be going out on this Thursday night, and he's going to come back with a whole bunch of stuff. And I mean, the big question is, what do you do? I'm even nervous about it because how do you reason with a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old when they see all this beautiful candy?
When they get 6, 7, 8, 10.
It's true.
It gets even trickier.
It's true, right? So you kind of have a bit of a conversation. Where do you start, Andrea?
You know, I think when we're managing Halloween candy, we got to approach it the same as we would any other kind of sweets and treats. So first of all, I always say to parents, there's no bad foods, there's just bad diets.
Right.
So we're always looking at, what are you doing between Halloween and the following Halloween, or the next upcoming Halloween is more relevant than what's happening on those couple of days.
Okay.
So bigger picture is important.
And talk to me about the bigger picture, because there's of course the question that it comes down to Halloween night. Even if you've chatted with your kid beforehand, they're still looking at this bucket of treats, and you need to talk to them and help them manage it. So what do you do?
So there's a couple of options. When we're getting into Halloween candy, first of all, we don't want to steal the thunder. This is such a fun time of year for kids. Let them dump out their big sackfuls of candy and look at it all and get excited with them and sort it and which are the best.
Yes.
Because, at the end of the day, we want them to have a healthy, happy relationship with food in general.
That's true. Okay.
So celebrate that piece. And then I want to present to you 2 different options, 2 different schools of thought on how to deal with this candy debate. The first option is with Ellen Satter. And Ellen Satter is a pediatric nutrition specialist. She's very well known in our nutrition committee or community. And what her approach to feeding is that parents' job is to decide what to eat, when to eat it, and structure meals in a, safe way.
So parents own that part.
They own that part. Whereas kids own how much to eat. And so if we apply that to Halloween, what that would mean is that you provide your kid with some great, excellent, awesome nutrition before they go out for Halloweening and throughout the rest of the year. They come home and they get to decide how much candy they're going to eat that night.
Oh my gosh.
And this terrifies some parents.
That's just terrifying.
But you might be surprised that if you take this approach and you just let them have at it, some kids are going to eat too much and get sick. Well, it's a teaching moment about, when we eat too much candy, it can sometimes make us feel bad. That kind of piece. And what you might see is a couple of days of candy eating is followed by less interest.
Okay. So the novelty is worn off about them being able to essentially just
Are they still going to love it? Sure. But you might be surprised that if you allow the flexibility to have lots, that sometimes they're going to overdo it, but then it's just going to wear off.
But that's going to change based on your child, right? Every child is a little bit different.
And just like there's so many different parenting strategies for sleep or tantrums, the same applies when we look at managing candy. Some kids are really going to only have a couple, and we just don't need to worry about it. Other kids, they need a little bit more what we call dolphin parenting, where we're nudging them along the way to sort of, keep on track.
Okay, so how do you be strategic about those, especially if the kid is managing it themselves? I mean, are you having a conversation with them about how many pieces are okay, how many aren't, or you're full on out of that whole conversation?
Well, again, in this option 1 with Ellen Satter, it would say you're just letting them go at it. The only structure that you're providing is maybe by day 2, you're saying, once, we've filled up on our supper, there's room for, selecting some dessert. Just like you would manage any other cake or cookies and that type of thing.
Okay. And do you have an age where you recommend that could come into play?
You know what? It could be as early as 2 or 3.
Okay.
You might be surprised. Last year when I had provided my 2-year-old with chocolate, I just allowed him to see what would happen. And he really only ate 1 and he never asked for anything again.
Gosh,
and again, that's a younger kid's approach sometimes.
But it's also, you're a nutritionist kid. So maybe that has something to do with it.
I don't know. He's a chocoholic like me. So.
Well, let's talk about this one phrase that I've been seeing on some of my friends' Facebook profiles have been talking about it. It's called the Switch Witch. This is the first time I've heard about this year. Tell me about it. And to me, it feels like it's a bit of an extreme situation. I don't like it. I really don't.
So I talked about option 1 where kids manage the stash.
Yes.
Option number 2 would be parents manage the stash.
Yes.
The stash. And so Dr. Yoni Friedhoff, who's a very sort of well-known physician in Ottawa, assistant professor at University of Ottawa, takes a little bit more of a formal stance against really helping kids to manage things. And his suggestion is, first off, have them come home with their candy, you know, allow them to have 3 pieces, put it away in the cupboard, and then, you know, start to dole it out 1 or 2 pieces at a time.
Okay.
And then sometimes those stashes might even dwindle a little bit quicker than the math would suggest.
Actually, I think I do like this, because then that means someone like me is getting to probably eat it. But the switch essentially is you take all of it away, and then it's all switched out with like toys, just non-candy items, and then the kids get the toys instead of the candy, right?
So yes, so he came up with the concept of the switch, where you're doling out a little bit and things are dwindling, or you might consider as a parent, similar to the tooth fairy visiting, the switch comes at night and leaves cool toys that are non-sort of sweet related.
I wonder if parents are going to do that.
The approach that you take, totally up to you. I'm a bit more of an advocate of really helping your kids manage both the healthful aspects of eating and the soulful fun aspect, and that we have to teach them how to put, you know, develop a relationship with both.
I hear what you're saying, Andrea. Awesome. If you want to find out more about just about Andrea in general, but also I think you've written a blog specifically on this topic, you can head to her website, healthstandnutrition.com. Andrea, thank you so much for being here. Let's head over to Kelsey. Kelsey, what do you think about the switch?
I don't know. I think it's sneaky. I don't know.
Then you get the candy. You be the witch. That's the good part.
Oh, but actually I can't, because I need to read Andrea's blog, because I would just eat all the candy, and then that would not be good. I have no self-control when it comes to Halloween candy. 8:23. The good news is we are getting close to Halloween, as I said, and the forecast looks pretty good. We have a couple of viewers